Hello everyone, it is I am back once again with another Jujutsu Kaisen debate. This debate today is gonna be Shibuya Sukuna versus Shibuya Gojo, which, hear me out, I think Sukuna can win against Gojo. So here is my take. Now, before we get into, the scaling and stuff, I just want to say that this is off the assumption that Sukuna has domain amplification at this point in the story, which I think he does. I seen people, on Reddit saying how, it doesn't make sense why he didn't use it before, but what reason did he have to use it? And I seen someone also say he could have used it against Gojo in chapter 2. But if we're being honest, Gaia probably didn't know or think that domain amplification was a concept at that point. He didn't know, what abilities he wanted the character to have at that point in the story, only 2 chapters in. So now let's get to the scaling. I want to set a baseline that 20 Fingers Sukuna and Shinjuku Gojo are equal when Sukuna is using domain amplification. That is just, a fact, right? So now we're degressing Sukuna back 5 fingers in Gojo before he got, stronger in the prison realm and also improved his domain barrier. And now, since we don't know how, the difference between a 20 finger Sukuna and a 50 finger Sukuna's domain, and also Gojo prison realm domain, barrier, and now his Shinjuku barrier, I'm also gonna be generous to Gojo and say that he has the same, he's as proficient as Sukuna with domains, so basically the domains are equal, just like in Shinjuku. But even giving Gojo that, he still loses every domain clash that they will, eventually get into. We know this because in chapter 225, where they eventually domain clash, they were said to be equal, but Sukuna was able to effortlessly break Gojo's domain because his domain were weak to outside attacks. And that is Sukuna's 1 out of 2 win cons, which I think the next one would be a Fuga, because we know that if Sukuna is able to, prepare the Fuga while his domain has a 200-meter radius, I think Gojo may be cooked because his technique would be in burnout. So Infinity wouldn't save him. He would just take the full brunt of Fuga. Well, not the brunt, but the explosions caused by Fuga, while also taking the slashes as well. And to be honest, I don't see Gojo getting the advantage at majority of times in this fight. If he's majority of the time gonna be healing from Malevolent Shrine, if he doesn't just outright die to Fuga. And to the people who are saying that Gojo would just pummel Sukuna, I don't believe that, because we know even Sukuna, without using domain amplification, is still able to keep up with Gojo without domain amplification, and with domain amplification, he's completely equal to him, while Gojo isn't using blue or red to pull him. And to say that would be meaning that you don't think Gojo got he didn't get physically stronger during the time of his prison realm and during the 1 month training, and he only improved his barrier. We seen 16 Finger Sukuna intercept an attack from Gojo that was aimed at Kenjaku. And yeah, it was meant for Kenjaku, but Sukuna still intercepted it. If Gojo was was as strong as 20 Finger Sukuna, at that point in the story, Sukuna would not have been able to intercept that. So the only way Gojo could win is if he lands Unlimited Void, which I don't think would happen given his you know, lack of basketball domain, which was the driving factor of him even winning a domain clash with Sukuna in the first place, or just withstanding Malevolent Shrine for 3 minutes. And I do believe that 50 Finger Sukuna with Domain Amp can combat with Gojo pretty easily. So in conclusion, Sukuna wins about high difficulty. I want to say medium because of the domain things, and I don't think the strength gap is massive if there's even any at all.